There's like a little preparation, but this is already live on YouTube, isn't it?
So they'll see this bit afterwards. It's not live, yeah.
Oh, and then you just put it up afterwards.
Yeah. And we are live. So let me just pull you over to the side. Okay, so this evening. Oh yeah, I need to mute us on YouTube.
So, this is going to be our final session of the day. I know everyone's quite fatigued. Everyone's had a bit of a awakening again from Mr. Mort. And now we are going to move into a mobility session to wind off the day. And we are very, very fortunate to have Mr. Sonny Webster. So as I gave the intro to him on the podcast, for everyone who's listened to that as well, he's a ex-GB weightlifter, an international porn star and superstar, and an all-round good guy. I'll let Sonny do his own intros and briefly talk you through the session that we are going to be taking through this evening.
We are here live, 5:30 a.m. Sydney. What's going on, guys? Thank you all very much for tuning in. I'm about to take you guys through a little bit of a mobility flow. It doesn't matter what sport you do, what your fitness background is, a little bit of mobility goes a long way no matter what your goals are, all right? So first of all, especially if you're doing any Olympic weightlifting, if you can get into a better full range of motion, you're going to be more efficient, you're going to lift more weight, and you'll be less likely to get injured. So that's why it's important. And for me, it's most crucial that we always mobilize pre-training or any pre-exercise, just purely for the basis that we warm up and increase that range of motion before we put it through load. And therefore, that's why we end up not getting injured. Okay, and it's become one of my favorite things, and it's definitely an area of expertise for me, I'd say, because I started so young. I got into weightlifting when I was 11 years old. I'm 26 and nearly bald, but yes, this was for charity. And yeah, and obviously been in the sport a long time now and have found the importance of it, and certainly teach it to all of the guys that I coach within my academy, and especially with anyone that's first of all getting into Olympic weightlifting from scratch. So without any further ado, we're going to work from lower body up. I've taken Ben and Lucy through a couple of mobility flows before. You guys can sort of use this time, like Ben said, you've had a busy day if you've been tuning into these bang, 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 to chill out and relax. I'll sort of walk you through the motions and they'll flow it one into the other. You can put a little bit of music on. I probably won't chat too much. And then at the end, if anyone's got any questions, I don't know if Lucy and Ben have got the ability to do that, but we can have a little bit of a Q&A chit chat question at the end.
Yeah, we'll do it there, mate. As we've been doing with most of the lives, is we'll have like a 10 or 15 minute Q&A. So anyone who is dropping in questions already, we will come back to those at the end and let Sonny answer those questions that you will have during the live.
Sounds good. If anyone watches me do any of these moves and they think there's no fucking way I'm doing that in my lounge, then I'll try and give you an easier alternative, okay? But we'll take it pretty steady. Yeah. All right, so to begin with, what I want you to do, just lay onto your onto your back, sorry. Okay, you're gonna one leg straight. This is it. We're underway. Okay, and from here, we're gonna hold onto our hamstring here, and we're just gonna be driving our heel up towards the ceiling. Okay, just go to your end of range, and then drop back down, and then again drive the heel back into the ceiling. Pause for a split second, and then come back down. We're gonna go for 10 of these. Again, make sure with the leg that's straight and down on the floor that you're keeping your bum cheek relaxed. Okay, and we're just really trying to drive the heel through the floor, through the ceiling. How weird is this, that right now, us lot, we're all back to back. We are actually back to back doing this. Okay, and then on the last one, what I want you to do, I want you to hold, and then I want you to go end of range rotation. So you can see what I'm doing with my foot here. That's it. Just starting to get those ankles moving. Ankles are always a one which everyone goes, Sonny, my ankle mobility is absolutely dog shit. I can't get deep into my squat position. But do you know what? One of the biggest things that has an effect on ankle mobility is your calves. If your calves are tight, fascia on the bottom of your foot's tight, has a massive effect on your ankle mobility. So it's always something that's worth, if you've got a roller, if you've got a little cricket ball, hockey ball, rolling out before you're doing any Olympic lifting or any squat work. Okay, we're going to change legs now. Go on, Ben.
Towards my Achilles.
Your Achilles is tight.
Yeah.
So just every time you go back into the top extended position, really pull your toes towards your face and then drop that down. That's it. Always end up pissing with sweat after these. Good workout. Oh, good. I think hamstrings is probably the first muscle or tendon that anyone ever learned to stretch at school.
Yeah.
Warm up for footy practice in the playground. Hamstring stretch, quad stretch. Okay, and then we're gonna go end of range rotations again. The foot. Oh, yeah, good. And change direction. Oh. Okay, and then we're going to relax down. We're going to roll onto our fronts now. Okay, and then from here, you can see I've put one foot on top of the other. Okay, we're going to go into our plank position. Like so, stick your bum up in the air. I'm just going to move this way a little bit so you can see what I'm doing with my foot. Okay, my heel is off the ground here. Okay, and then we're going to be extending right up now onto the toe, leaving the toes down. Okay, back leg straight, and then eccentric slowly to our end of range. Feel the stretch there in the back of the calf. Hold for a split second, and then extend again right up on top of those toes like you're extending at the top of a pool or top of a snatch, and then slowly relax back down. Okay, complete relax off, that's it there. Hope everyone's dressed appropriately in their lounges for this exercise. Like a horny husband running in. I was like, Lyndall, are you going to come and do mobility with me this morning? She's like, I won't even be able to fucking say mobility at that time, Sonny.
It doesn't even matter about the language, mate, because the live before this, I think 50% of the role that Paul played was to do with dicks or fannies. So.
Oh yeah, I wasn't worried. I was following Paul Mort, so language was not an issue. Okay, guys, and change legs, please. Okay, remember every time we're doing this, we're keeping the ankle up off the floor and then moving very slowly towards the end of range. God, my knee just clicked. Good, and then extend. All right, so, and then really slowly on the eccentric. I suppose it's probably still nice and light. Is it light there still yet?
Yeah, it's still light, mate.
That's amazing, isn't it? It's still pitch black here.
Is it?
Really?
Yeah, yeah. It's dark from like 6 till about 5:20 at the moment.
That's crazy.
Yeah, well, it's sorry, daylight between 6 and 5:20. Good. Okay, and relax. And relax, guys. Okay, we're gonna go up onto one knee now. Okay, this one's called knee glides. Okay, so we're gonna go into a lunge position here. I'll chop my head off, so I'm gonna do it this way.
Yeah, we just chopped off.
Okay, from here, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna apply a little bit of pressure on top of the knee. If anyone at home has got a kettlebell or a dumbbell within grabbing reach, go grab it, okay? And then what you're gonna do, I could fucking do it with this. Lyndall's asleep, and she's not gonna bollock me. Okay, you're gonna place your load or your kettlebell on top of the knee. Okay, there you go, or water. And then what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be pushing the knee forward, tracking over toe, making sure the foot stays flat, and then we're gonna rock back. Okay, every time we're doing this, what I want you to focus on is the knee tracking out over the second toe, okay, with the heel staying down. For a lot of people, this will be very challenging. The heel will want to pop up, okay, but you just go to your end of range and then rock back. Okay, keep pushing down through the foot. That's it. Nice. So just with a little bit of load, just give you a little bit, makes this a little bit more challenging. And again, a lot more like what we want when we're lifting. I think that's always a big thing, especially for, or myth for people when they're getting into Olympic weightlifting or starting their journey in fitness and squatting. A lot of PTs and trainers will go, nope, you should not let your knees track over your toes when you squat. And it ends up teaching people, we're going to change legs now, guys. It ends up teaching people to have far too much weight in the heels when they're squatting. It causes the butt wink and it makes it much more difficult for you to actually activate and use your quads as you're standing up from your squat. And you'll always notice anyway for a weightlifter or I guess even a powerlifter versus conventional squat will sit a hell of a lot more upright than what you'll find in any other sports practice. But that's obviously because, like I said, as we're going down to the bottom bar squats, focusing knee over toe and then sitting nice and upright in the bottom position.
Do you notice though, for like a lot of powerlifters, it looks like almost like a cross between a squat and a good morning?
Yeah, of course. But the setup for a powerlifting squat, okay, guys, relax there. And we're just going to go into squat bounces now. So you're going to sit down in your bottom of your squat position. Okay, even if for some people this is very challenging, then just go down into the lowest position you can with hands on your knees. And we're just going to try and drop lower and lower into that bottom position. But if everyone can achieve their bottom position, and again, this is something that I always see when people are warming up, they'll grab onto like a door frame or something like that and just show this horrible position. And they're chatting and warming up, no good. So what I want you to do from here is making sure, even you, Ben, I can see, okay, knees over toes, okay, and chest stays upright. So now everyone that's watching, if you have a look at the angle of my back, it remains flat. So this is always what we want to be able to achieve when we're going into this bottom position, not that, not holding on anything as a support and rounding, knees over toes. And even if that means we're sitting a little bit higher, that's fine. I'd rather you sit higher and in an upright position than sit down bollocks and socks and your back look like a fucking question mark. Okay. Sorry, Ben, what was your question? Say that again. Do I find with powerlifting squat versus weightlifting squat?
Yeah, just because like I think sometimes like a lot of comments that people are getting, I think what you've raised is like a big debate with a lot of people in the fitness community to do with squatting. And I think what you see all the time is it almost looks like when some powerlifters squat, it looks like they're folding in half, or it's somewhere between like a squat and a good morning.
Yeah. Just stand up, shake that out, guys, and go again for me. Just shake your legs out, guys, everyone at home watching as well. Okay, and then go back down. Every time you see when I'm bouncing side to side, I'm applying a lot of pressure knee over toe again, and then I'm rocking back through and then going again. So these are small little bounces. The more time we spend in this position, the more comfortable it's going to be, okay? But yeah, so obviously when powerlifters are squatting, they're loading posterior chain a little bit more so, I'd say, than weightlifters. Obviously for powerlifting, it's not going to matter if you drop your chest, you just need to break parallel. In this position here, you'll use your hips a lot more than you will in your Olympic weightlifting. But if you imagine trying to catch a clean in the same position that powerlifters will hit their low bar squat, which is like that, if I was to catch a clean now, it's going to go terribly wrong. Yeah. Whereas we need to be sat in this position when we catch a clean to be able to stand up, which is why the two positions are very different. Okay, good. And relax. Okay, so we're going to...
You ever hold a plate when you're in this position?
Yeah, you can hold your plate as long as you're keeping your chest up. Absolutely fine if you to hug a plate and keep your chest up. Okay, what you're going to do now, guys, just onto one knee. Okay, we're going to relax the bum cheek, and then squeeze the bum cheek and drive the hips through. Okay, this is a nice, easy hip one to begin with for anyone. Okay, once you hit your end of range, relax off, and then go again. Ben, if you let me know when I've only got 10 minutes left as well.
Cool.
Okay, relax off, and then go again.
So like this.
If anyone's near a sofa like me, okay, you can do this on the sofa edge as well, just to make it a little bit more difficult. So you're dropping leg back, and then go straight on the front leg, and then hips through. But every time I'm doing this and driving the hips through, guys, I'm focusing on squeezing my bum and tilting my pelvis underneath.
Getting the extra inch.
That's it, mate. Every inch counts. Okay, and relax. Okay, you guys need to swap over, I think. 10 one side, 10 the other. And then again, a nice easy one to increase this is for the side that you're stretching. You can take hand up and over the top.
Are you getting a deeper stretch through being on the sofa?
Yeah, so obviously my knee's much further back than yours there, but what I'm focusing on still is squeezing the bum and tilting the pelvis through. It definitely runs a little bit into my glute then as well when I'm up on the sofa. Sorry, into my quad. One more. Okay, and relax, guys. Just onto your bums now. So we're working our way up slowly. We've been going ankles, hips. This next one I call the assembly hold, because whenever you're in assembly in school, you used to have to sit like this. Okay, we're gonna go feet together, pull them in as close as you can. Okay, and then from here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna force down on top of our knees. Open up. It sometimes helps, like you guys, if you got a wall behind you as well, or again, like I'm up against the sofa's edge. Okay, to push down the knees without sliding away. Good, that's it. Okay, you're gonna force down for 5 seconds, and then we're gonna release up slowly for 5. Keep your feet together like so. That's it, and then we're gonna be dropping down. Force end of range in 5 seconds. Good. And then increase back up. Good. So we're gonna go for 8 of these. Keep those feet in as close as you can.
Feel nice.
Yeah. Nice, feel good, easy one. They don't all have to feel like your fucking leg's gonna snap off or your arm's gonna snap off when you're doing these. It's a mixture of the two. Like I say, a lot of them aren't necessarily static in sense, although I'm not moving, I'm still just flossing or mobilizing the joint.
I've definitely got one side stiffer than the other, so I can push my left to the floor, but my right restrictive.
Interesting. Would you have a stronger leg, do you say?
My right leg's more dominant, so I use it more when I'm like doing my workout, so it's probably why my hips are tighter as well.
Yeah. Last one then, guys. Good.
Oh, that was lovely.
Okay. And then what we're going to do from here. Now, this stretch is one that I like to do with an Olympic bar normally, but we're going to take legs out as wide as you can go. Okay. Making sure the knees stay flat and toes point up towards the sky. Just for anyone at home that has got the space or has got a wall in front of them, then Ben, I'd get you to demonstrate this. You'd flip around and do your feet up against the wall like so, or I'm using the sofa's edge. I'm just going to turn around for the benefit of everyone else. Okay. Legs as wide as you can go. If you have got a wall, guys, get right up against it. You're going to feel this pulling right down from underneath your bollocks all the way to the inside of the knee. Okay. Toes pointing up towards the sky. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to reach out in front of the body. Lucy, just try and keep your chest up instead of rounding through your upper back. There we go. So you're pulling shoulders back and down. Nice big chest. Okay, and again, you'll feel it pulling down through here, guys. Tight. Again, if the adductors are tight, it has a massive impact on your ability to sit nice and upright in your squats, in your snatches, in your overhead squats. Overhead squats, such a great exercise, I think, for anyone that's already happy squatting comfortably front squat, back squat as the next type of squatting to learn how to do. To develop that strength and stability overhead, core strength, and then obviously as well as the squat. Okay, guys, and then what I want you to do is walk your hands out very slowly over to your foot. That's it, and we're gonna hold here.
Getting there.
Ben, now let's be extremely stiff, brother.
You think you struggle with this one, don't you?
Yes.
That's it, good. And we just hold there. Beautiful. Okay, and then I want you to slowly move the hands then back over the other side. It's really important that we're keeping your chest up. We're not going into full pancake. I know a lot of mobile people will be able to. I'm trying to keep my chest up as I'm moving around here. Good work. Nice deep breaths, guys. Chill. In terms of like the frequency, I'd say for anyone that's thinking, yeah, okay, this is already highlighting areas of my weakness, areas of weakness for me in terms of my range of motion in these exercises. How often should I be doing it? For me, 20 to 40 minutes a day is plenty. And I'd just say not even every day, but 3 times a week is enough to sort of start seeing some results from consistent mobilizing. But like I said, preferably doing a small amount of mobilizing. Oh, okay, relax. Doing a small amount of mobilizing pre-training is going to be more beneficial for you. If you've already got a good range of motion, then I'd suggest not mobilizing before squatting or training and doing it after. So like for someone like me, I wouldn't necessarily do a flow like this right before my squat session because I've already got a good range of motion. If I didn't, this is going to help me get into a better position when I'm squatting. Okay, so we're going to go 90s now. Feet just outside in front of the body. We're going to return straight on and then rotate back through. So what's really got cramp?
Got 2 sets of testicles now, so.
What's really important when we're doing any hip mobilizing is always working internal and external rotation. So we're testing both end of ranges. Okay, as you notice, guys, as I'm turning through into this position, I'm staying nice and upright. Okay, and then rotate through. If you find this one particularly difficult, anyone that's watching this at home, then just take your feet a little bit further away from the body. Okay, the further away from the body, the easier this will be. Okay, the closer they are, the more difficult it's going to be for you to stay upright. You might find yourself wiggling across the living room. Good.
What are you laughing at?
I think you're doing it like back to front.
I'm not. You just said that I'm our students.
Yeah. Good. Nice. 2 more. Okay, brilliant. And relax. A nice, easy one now for everyone. Feel good one. We're just going to go into our Cobra stretch. We're just going to drop those hips down. Yeah, everyone likes this one. Make sure when you're doing this, guys, you're keeping your bum cheeks relaxed, hips are down, chest up towards the ceiling. Good. Well, what I like to do with this one, guys, to make it a little bit extra spicy, is turn the hands in towards the body. Okay, just so you're gonna feel a little stretch down now through the forearms. Anyone that's been doing a lot of dumbbell work this week already will be feeling this.
Or any naughty work.
Yeah, or Kleenex warrior. Okay. And then just walk your hands out a little bit further for me.
I don't think I can do that.
Okay. Nice deep breaths, guys, and then just look up towards the ceiling. Okay, and relax. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna do one leg straight, one leg bent up like so. Okay. And then what we're gonna be doing from here is we're just gonna be dropping back down towards the floor. Okay. If anyone is feeling extra spicy and mobile this morning, then you can do this with both legs up to the side, which I'll show you in a second. But for the minute, one leg up's fine. You'll feel the stretch in the quad. To make this easier, move the foot slightly further away from the body.
Oh, Jesus.
So then more advanced version of this would be both legs and then back, which even for me is quite difficult. Don't need that. In my life, just staying on just single leg for the moment. Try and keep that knee down.
One leg's fine.
Good, and just hold here. Tight on this one. But anything like quads, I'd say on an ideal time, we'd be holding up to sort of 90 seconds on this sort of stretch. Yeah. Just try and keep those hips square if you can to the floor. Swap legs if you guys haven't already. Good. Oh, okay. Relax. Oh. It's sore that one. Okay, we're in for a nice easy one now, coming towards the end. Okay, so we're going mid to upper back now, up thoracic. From here, we're going to do our happy cat, angry cat, happy girlfriend, angry girlfriend, I like to call them. Okay, so we're hissing back here, and then we're dropping chest down towards the floor, maintaining nice straight arms. Okay, this range of motion that we're going through here, okay, is extremely important because this is what allows us to make a nice front rack position when we're squatting. Anyone that struggles when we're doing this exercise in a moment with this range of motion, that's probably also why you're struggling to stay nice and upright when you're squatting your front squats. Okay, so this is a great way just to warm up into floss, upper thoracic before we're getting into any squatting. Okay, I just want you to go through 10 in your own time. Nice deep breaths as you're doing this. Think about pulling your scapulars together, okay, shoulder blades together in the bottom position. So imagine if I was to put my fingers in between your shoulders now, you pinch my fingers together, okay? That's it, Ben. I can still see that you can close yours off more in your bottom position as you're dropping it. Yeah, that's it. Get them touching. There, that's it. Really test that end of range.
I've got so much range.
Pardon?
I've got so much range, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's good. Lovely. Good. Okay, I'm going to show a couple of variations of this next one. Okay, if anyone has got a sofa or a chair near them, then what you're going to do, I'm just going to borrow this chair. Okay, what we're going to do is going to drop elbows onto the chair, and we're going to hold our hands together. Okay, and we're going to drop chest down to the floor like so. If you don't have a chair that you can do this on, then you can do it on the sofa. If you don't have either or of that, then you can just go into half prayer. So we have knees just outside shoulder width, inside feet down, elbows on the floor, and then we're going to run our hands down our back. I'd say the option that I just went for there last is probably the easiest. And what also can be quite nice, guys, at home is if you've got a PVC pipe or a towel or a t-shirt or something, or Lyndall's bag, I can roll that up, grab that there, and pull them apart as I'm going down into my bottom position. Okay. You're going to feel this as you're going through here, running right down underneath the armpits, in through into the lats. That's it, reach down your back. I'm even just doing one arm at a time here, just to increase the range even further for me. Relax off each time, then go again. Okay. Do this side. Okay, and relax, guys.
Oh, got that for the tricep.
Okay, and then if you just want to sit back on your hands like Lucy's doing as well for me there, it's fine. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take two palms together. From here, we're going to drive palm out in front. Okay, and relax. And out in front. Again, for anyone doing any front racking, wrists can be an issue. Some great simple exercises that we can do, part of our warm-up routine. That's it, Ben. And just hold the end of range. It's really important we're hitting lockout there and then coming back in. Everyone's lockout position is going to be different here, especially if you struggle with, I guess, people who are hypermobile. I'm very slightly hypermobile, which is great for weightlifting because they get a nice lockout position. But a lot of people can't actually get their arms into that full lockout. Okay, but it's very important for any pressing or weightlifting movements, because if we can get to our lockout position, then once we're there, we can completely relax, let the weight sit overhead and focus on letting the weight sink down into the lower body. That's it, good. So just going for 10 each side. Good, pull those fingers back. Good. Okay, and then just link your fingers. Bring your end of range, 20 in one direction. You can also do this as well if you're in the gym, back when everyone is in the gym, with a little disc in between your hands, and doing the same thing again, little biscuit, change direction, works nicely. Okay. And then just side to side, we're just going to loosen that off, guys. Shake everything out. Stand up, guys that are on the floor. Okay, a little wiggle through the ankles. Okay, we're just going to reach down towards the floor and up towards the sky. Down towards the floor. Run your hands down the back of your hamstrings. That's it. Just for 5.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay. And there you have it, guys. Your little mobility flow.
Love that. We've got loads of questions that have popped
That was
through.
lovely.
Nice one. Yeah, that was just nice and simple. Like I said, we just did a couple of exercises in each key body part for Olympic weightlifting, which is the ankles, hips, shoulders, and obviously wrists as well. I mean, you could go into my exercise library of exercises that I use purely for mobility for Olympic weightlifting is like 80. We probably went over about like 16 there at the most. So like the variations and stuff and difficulties you can change. I know for a lot of people, some of them would have been easy and you breeze through, but I forget that sometimes some of those stretches and exercises that we just did then can be very challenging if you were just getting into your fitness journey, and that's absolutely fine. Okay, there's lots of different regressions that you can do to make them a little bit easier. And even if you find that you're sweating from doing that workout, it's been quite testing for you, again, just shorten the time and pick one body part and just give it a really good go running through 4 exercises. Spend 15 minutes just on that one body part and then rest. Okay, a little and often is better than doing nothing at all or necessarily doing a full 1-hour mobility session.
Yeah, I think what you just touched on there, like I did 200 calories in 30 minutes because obviously what are you looking like that?
I did 60.
Because it was a bit more difficult for me, but I think that kind of being in the mindset of putting mobility into your routine is probably even more critical for people like myself or like other gym goers who don't do Olympic lifting as much, because it's not something that is as subconscious for some of those exercises and some of those positions that you need to get into. So it's obviously nice to do some of those and just recap.
Yeah, for sure. It's not the sexy thing. That's the thing. I'd much rather go in the gym and smash biceps and do a heavy squat session than I would sit in my living room and run through mobility. But as we mentioned when we were talking on the podcast the other day, this is the perfect time when you've got no one to show off to focus on the not so sexy stuff that's actually going to be far more beneficial for you in the long run. And you know, it doesn't require any equipment. You know, I mean, that was the biggest battle for a lot of people. Is like all the gym shops have sold out selling gym equipment. I can't do fucking squats at home. You know what I mean? You can isometrically pull on a towel as much as you want and try and squat the sofa, but instead of trying to replicate the workouts you were doing at home, doing the other areas that are important, much better.
So I think we'll dive into some of the questions now, maybe better on the live stream, because there's a few on there. So what are the best exercises for overhead squat mobility?
Overhead squat mobility, great question. And we briefly touched on it when we we're going through the flow there. I'd say one of the best things for me when it comes to improving overhead mobility is, first of all, practice pressing, just like actually pressing the movement either in a snatch or clean grip behind the neck to begin with. Okay, so for example, grabbing yourself a PVC pipe. I don't have one in reach now, but I'm going to pretend this one. Press behind neck in SOTS grip, I'd say. And do you know what makes this much easier? Just staying and doing it on your bums to begin with. Okay, so if you imagine this is my PVC pipe, okay, we're making sure that the elbows stay down in this position and we're pressing into our lockout. Okay, so always working through this range of motion, making sure that when I'm doing this, my elbows are staying directly underneath the body. Once I'm happy with that and I'm comfortable with that exercise overhead, then obviously we need to get into the position that we would do. I'm just going to tilt this camera up very slightly. Okay, the position we would do standing, again, pressing from this position. Okay, once we're happy with that, then we start beginning to do the overhead squat, okay, with the bar loaded overhead. Now you only want to go down as low as you can keep a good position. The minute you start to roll or your chest drops like that, which it will do for a lot of people, you change direction. So I only want you working through a range where you can stay in a good position. You can do this against the wall. You can have a sofa behind you initially, just so you're almost doing like box squats, just so you get comfortable going through this range and feeling the weight in your quads. There's no better substitute for anything overhead, whether it be overhead squat or SOTS press, than actually mimicking the exercise. Because that's one of the biggest things when it comes to play for Olympic weightlifting, is you are going to be under load, and therefore you need to practice a lot of your mobility drills and exercises under load.
Perfect. So there's the same question basically twice. Hi guys, any shoulder mobility moves that are good for rounded shoulders? And then someone said, me too. Any shoulder mobility exercises also have a pain in my upper shoulder and neck? So shoulder mobility.
Yeah, okay. I always say, because I get asked a lot about pain, and it's very difficult to diagnose someone's pain based on going, I've got a sore neck. I could have a sore neck and I could have a gash down the side of my neck and it could be falling off, or I could just tweak the muscle. I can't, diagnose people necessarily for that. But what I'm going to suggest for you, okay, anyone that's struggling with shoulders, if you imagine for me for a second, just for the benefit of everyone at home, that this chair behind me is a wall. Okay, so I've wiggled right up against my wall and I've pulled my shoulders back and down so my chest is now upright. Maintaining this good posture here, we're going to focus on raising the arms up. What I'd like you to be able to do is get all the way to your chair without your back going into a gymnastic position. Okay, so we're starting to work through this range, making sure core stays tight. Okay, and the arms come up overhead. Every time I hit end of range, I reach up towards the ceiling. Working through this range and holding good posture here is extremely important. So always seeing your shoulders back and down. And the final one I'd give you is the same, wall diamonds, I call this. Okay, so we go into diamond position overhead and then pulling elbows into rib cage. And then again, going back overhead. Both of these exercises are great for improving us posturally and making sure that we're staying back and down there at all times whenever we're lifting. I walk around like this naturally because I'm so used to being set like that when I'm lifting. And I think for a lot of people in their general life, they like this. So do get a lot of tightness here in the fronts of the shoulders. Okay, it is rounded back central, and it makes it very difficult for us to go and pull back into this position. So just always think subconsciously with your posture, shoulder blades back and down, put them in your back pockets. 10 minutes a day like this becomes a habit then.
Yeah, I was going to say that, like, that's one thing that does create tightness through the shoulders, and it is what you are doing a lot of the time on a day-to-day basis, because people can either like be slouched over desks or be leaning slightly on one side and the left side be tighter than the right, because subconsciously you're doing it all day, every day. So no, one of the things that me and you were kind of playing each other when we were in the office was put like a tennis ball behind each other's back when we sit on the chair, so that if the tennis ball dropped, then you'd know that you'd started to fall.
Yeah, well, this is it. It's not necessarily a one-off exercise that's going to cure all your pain for your mobility, because you think you mobilize for that 20 minutes of the day. What are you doing for the other 23 and a half hours of the day? If you're like this at a desk, you know what I mean? It's that time, and the more time you can spend in good position. That's why I said, like, even for you having 10, 15 minutes in your squat position each day, I will sit and wait for the bus like this. You know what I mean? It's just more time you can spend in these positions, the more comfortable they're going to become. The more you can get used to sitting shoulder blades back and down whenever you're sitting, okay? Or when you're at your desk, being conscious of staying nice and upright. These simple habits that you'll put into your daily habit will pay off a lot in your gym time.
I think if you start to do that mobility though and include it, then it makes you more subconscious of those things. Then
100%.
I have to say, when you start training or doing anything with the gym, it then makes you more subconscious about your diet. So obviously it's like a knock-on effect, isn't it, to other things?
Yeah, simple things.
No question.
So yeah, everyone's just said like, this is absolutely amazing, feels really good. That felt great. Someone else asked about shoulders, but we've done that. Someone's asked here, I train for strong women comps. Will your mobility plan be good for me?
Yeah, 100%. Like I said, the mobility manual has now just had an update. It's now 40 days long. There's now 24 new exercises within the library. What the mobility manual does so well, why it does so well for people, because it gives you structure and consistency on your mobility sessions. Like I said, that for a lot of people is something that they don't have. Okay, in any strong woman exercises, strong man exercises, you're going to be put into a lot of the same positions as you would do when you're Olympic weightlifting, even if anything in some more awkward positions than you get into when you're Olympic weightlifting. So the actual exercises that I implement through the manual are then going to pass over the same for you as well in strongman. But it's like I said, the manual isn't just for weightlifters, it isn't just for CrossFit, it's for anyone that struggles with their mobility and their range of motion. Like I said, it doesn't matter what sport or fitness background you're trying to achieve or do, being more mobile is going to make you more efficient, less likely to get injured, and you're going to lift more weight and move better and be more technically proficient, regardless of what you're doing. So yeah, it works great for everyone. If you want to see the reviews, results, go and hit the link in my bio.
Yeah, I think you had the question that anyway. Someone's asked twice, do you have a mobility guide and do you do lives?
Yeah, so why do I have a mobility guide was because I've traveled all around the world teaching people Olympic weightlifting, and the biggest stumbling block for people is the mobility. And it's the first thing that I always address before I even think about putting a bar in someone's hand. It's like, right, can you get into all of these positions that you're about to get into under load without a bar? And if you can't do that, it would be irresponsible of me to then go, fuck it, just put a bar on, put some weight on, and then carry on, you'll be fine. Because although that weight sometimes helps push people into the positions, they haven't developed the stability and the control through that range with their body weight first. So therefore, that's when the mobility manual was born, and why I put so much more emphasis on mobilizing, because I teach Joe, a lot of the time, Joe Bloggs, who's 25 years old, and he's just come out of his office job. He's decided he's overweight and wants to lose some weight through CrossFit, found weightlifting, enjoys that more. And that's the person that comes to me and goes, right, teach me weightlifting. And, you know, they're in a completely different starting position to most. And therefore, teaching them how to control and move well first is the first step of learning how to do Olympic weightlifting before I even think about giving them that barbell. Once we address that, then we have the barbell. There's no like issues then as we start to load up in terms of mobility holding back your progress. So if I'd always said to anyone that's learning Olympic weightlifting, right, for the first 2 weeks, you're not allowed to touch a bar. I'm just going to help you learn how to control your body and move well first. And then we can take a bar and you'll have an illustrious career in whatever you want to do. But we need to make sure you can move well first. And it always works out well for people in the long run.
Cool.
Amazing. We've had probably like, I literally say 6-7 questions on
Hips.
any good exercises for stiff hips, sore hips.
Hip
I have
flexors.
bad hips, hip flexors.
Yeah. Again, guys, like I said, for any of these exercises, do go and check out the mobility manual. I've got a full exercise library as well as a program that runs for 40 days that you can do from home. That's going to help you out with, like I said, ankles, hips, shoulders, and overhead. So go and please check that out. I am going to be releasing a live sort of calendar this week. It just was getting too much for me going live every single day with about 15 other people, and people wanting to tune into multiple people at once. So I'm just going to set a time a day, one time each week, where I'll do a 20-30 minute flow live. So feel free to jump onto that. Make sure you're on my Instagram. You'll see me announce them. So you can do that for free if you're being tight and don't want to pay.
Amazing. We've had one there. I don't know if you guys want this one, but it's, should I worry if I'm clicking whilst doing some exercises? For example, my hips click when doing hip ones. It doesn't hurt, just not pleasant.
You'll get a lot of clicks and cracks. I think a lot of the time it tends to be tendons flicking over, joints, etc. when you're doing exercises. I'd say as long as it's not causing any pain or it's not excessive amounts, then don't worry too much. I always find for people that do have clicking, sometimes doing a little bit of foam rolling first through the muscles can release that off when you then go back through the range of motion. So maybe give that a go first before you get into the exercises that will generally cause clicking.
Cool. I think another one that we've had is is doing stretching after training, after weight training, bad?
Good question. I think it doesn't hurt as part of your cool down. Excessive stretching after training, again, I don't think for the vast majority of us, it's going to be life-changing difference between us making the Olympics and not. All I would say is in terms of picking the times to stretch and mobilize, it makes a lot more sense for me if you don't have the range of motion to mobilize and stretch first. Okay, because that's where you got to not get confused. We're not necessarily, we stretched a few muscles there, but what we were actually focusing on that session is articulating joints and increasing range of motion, which is slightly different to, for example, doing a quad stretch, you know? So we're not necessarily stretching muscles so much there, we're more mobilizing joints. So you've got to kind of separate the two.
Okay, and one last question.
It's the same question. Should I do mobility before or after session?
Yeah, I know it is the same question.
Yeah, do it prior.
Okay, perfect. So there are a few more, but we're probably going to leave it there. That was amazing. Just for the guys who are on the live, what is your website? I know you've already mentioned it, but like website, where to find you, your Instagram page?
Yeah, so there's, first of all, Instagram's probably my biggest outlet, guys. There's loads of free tuition and exercises, mobility drills there on my page. So feel free to have a run through my IGTV, my Instagram page. There'll be lots of little bits you can save and pick out. Great. If you want a little bit more help from me, then hit the link in my bio. Okay, you'll see I offer 14 different training programs, whether it be for Olympic weightlifting, CrossFit, learning how to do Olympic weightlifting courses. There's everything's there, as well as my online academy where I actually work coaching people online. So you can check that out there. Go to sonnywebster.com. You can have a free trial for 7 days there, which I'd advise you all to do. And then finally, my email list as well. I chat shit for a living and write some occasional good stuff via my email. But again, it's another free little bit of information for you guys. I kind of go into a little bit more detail around the methods behind the madness of the stuff that you'll see on Instagram. That's just me drawing you in with these crazy exercises. And once I've got you, I'll educate you on the back end.
Cool, mate.
Amazing.
That's amazing. Thank you very much for your time. I'm sure everyone else really appreciates it, mate. And it's been amazing having you on as part of the Health and Wealth Summit, which has been a great finish to day one. So we thank you very much for your time.
Really
also,
brilliant.
everyone else who's been on this live session, if you can, please leave any donation possible to the NHS Trust Fund, which is the link below in the description box for this whole event. And if you can, please like the video because it will push it out more for more people to view it post this. The video will be saved on the channel, so you can go back and do the mobility session with us and Sonny again. And it will
that's gold.
It will be posted to other bits as well, so people can revisit and stuff and do it again if they wish. And yeah,
great.
We'll catch you bright and early for Lucy's glute session in the morning.
Bye, guys.